Stop laughing at me.
How it's hard not to look at you.
All right, Double T from 96.7 The Eagle. Andrea's here somewhere from the Rockford
I'm right here.
Area Convention and Visitors Bureau, and she finds this the funnest part of these little videos, things Double T has never done in Rockford, because I get blindfolded and I can't see anything. And today I had a special blindfold from Culture Shock down here.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think this should be the new thing. We should have a new blindfold for you every time that looks something just like this.
Pretty sure you can keep that one.
Oh, yes.
Well, maybe
You need to reuse it, yeah.
There you
Zombie
go.
sleep mask.
Do we need to put like a little sponsorship thing on there?
Oh yeah, we'll
Yeah.
sponsor the zombie sleep mask.
All right,
Sure.
awesome.
it.
All right, so
All
kind
right.
of explain what's going on then. Andrea.
Okay, so for things Double T's never done before in Rockford, this week we are at Culture Shock, and here we're going to invite Skylar over. Skylar is here owner of Culture Shock, co-owner of Culture Shock with Laura
Hello.
Davis. And we have a very special surprise for you in
Okay.
front of your hands.
Okay.
I'm not sure that I would be able to guess this one, but
Okay.
good luck. You've been doing pretty good. So.
All right. So.
You better not guess it within like 5 seconds. So on your right hand, that is the packaging it comes in.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
See,
But as usual, as
It's
if
a
it were a wrapped
box.
gift,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to tell much
Yeah.
from that.
Right,
So
okay.
inside the box, now that's what's inside the box on your left.
So this is what's inside.
That's what
there.
you're trying to guess what it is.
Okay.
You can pick it up. I don't think
Oh
you're
my
gonna-
God! It's heavy.
is it heavy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's heavy.
Mhm.
That's heavy.
And do we need some clues? Because
Oh, yeah.
I have from the product list that
Oh.
this item improves emotional well-being.
Ooh.
Ooh. Wow. Well, it feels like a rock.
That's that's a pretty good
Pretty
guess.
good
Actually.
guess.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a pretty good guess.
All right. All right.
Not quite, what it is, but
Okay.
a good guess.
Okay.
It's a good guess. It's definitely not a record, so.
Yeah.
It's
Why
not a
couldn't it
record.
just been a record?
I know.
Or cassette
Too
or
easy.
something? Yeah.
Too easy.
Like a rock, though, it is environmentally friendly.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
Is it a light?
That's part right. I mean,
Okay.
I suppose we might want to get more specific.
Okay.
Yeah, it needs
Yeah.
to
Let's
be more
get.
specific.
we can do
you
that.
could, I suppose if you want to guess if you can use more than your hands, you could taste it maybe, or taste your hands even.
Ooh.
That could be a big hint.
At your own risk, maybe.
At your own risk.
No, that's okay. All right. Another clue, please.
Sure. Let's see. Let's see. It cleans the air naturally.
Ooh. I didn't know that about this, but
Right.
I want it.
Yeah, no
It's
kidding.
awesome.
Well, it's something.
Emotional well-being. Cleans air naturally. It's not a rock.
Is it some sort of filter? Air filter?
I guess it is. It's more of like an air enhancer
Okay.
than an air filter.
Oh, okay.
If we were playing like the...
It does reduce static electricity, I guess, also.
Yeah.
Um.
So,
You were getting colder with your last guess.
Yeah.
You were warmer with the light.
maybe I should grab a cord so we can get it warmer. I don't have one handy. It's too far
That's all right.
away.
That's all right. Any other clues? I kinda have,
how
like,
about
an
the
idea.
location of where it is made. It is from the Himalayan mountains.
That's a
Is that a good?
I have like an idea of what it is, but I don't know exactly what it's called.
Well, try to get close to it, maybe.
It's it's something that will soothe you, make you feel relaxed.
Oh, if you get the whole entire name right, I'm buying you a pizza or
Oh
something.
dang it!
If I
Dang
whisper
it!
to you, we split the pizza.
I would totally split the pizza.
Totally trying to cheat.
Andrea
over
was
there.
supposed to bring us lunch.
I know.
Are you sure you don't want to taste your hands or taste the item? It really wouldn't. I don't know if you could smell it. Can you smell it?
I don't know if I want to taste it.
Well, you could. That would probably help give it away if you did.
It's not a soap light. That's another clue.
Oh, really? I actually, whenever I was somehow maybe wiping my face or something when we were getting them in, and I unboxed them, and just from touching a lot of them and whatever, I actually accidentally did get some on my lips somehow or from wiping my mouth or something.
Just
So,
take a big lick off of it. There you go. Just do that. No, don't do that.
No! She's always trying to get me to
Do
hurt
something
or
crazy.
something.
It's not sharp. It won't cut
Is
you.
it salt? No.
I don't know. You said, is it? I guess, do we have to answer
It's
yes?
getting warmer.
Is it a salt light?
Oh, look
Yeah,
at
that's
you.
pretty much close enough, yeah.
Genius.
It's a Himalayan salt lamp.
Oh,
totally
see.
correct.
So
They're
good.
heavy, aren't they?
Yeah, that's awesome. Look at that.
How cool.
So
is
here's
that?
we have a few different sizes of them. But yeah, they're all made with natural Himalayan salt. There's even the round sculpted ones and the white salt lamps.
You're so cool.
But that's why I thought if you were to accidentally taste something, you'd be
Yeah.
like, that's salt. Oh, it's got to be a salt lamp.
Mm-hmm.
But
See?
they do ionize like the air. It's supposed to be like mountain air or by the oceans, you know,
Okay.
the healthy air that you breathe.
Mm-hmm.
So they are supposed to be that. But mostly they just look cool and add really nice environment, like, you know,
Oh,
nice
cool.
little mood setting.
They're beautiful. They
Thank
really
you,
are.
yeah.
They're really neat.
So we thought that would be a good one to guess.
That's really
Very
cool because the
cool.
record, you know.
yeah,
obviously.
well, that's
Unless you had me name the group, but
yeah,
that could have been anything.
so many other items like coffee mugs. You'd guess it's a mug, maybe
Right.
not kind of mug. So
Right.
we want to get something a little harder for you.
All right.
Stump you.
Well, I look forward to
Awesome.
spending some time here.
Yeah, cool.
Let's get to work. Now that I've guessed my item, tell me a little bit about Culture Shock, a little bit of the history, because I know you guys have been around for a while now.
Sure. It is 2006 is when we opened, a little over 11 years ago, and we kind of just jumped into it and
Mhm.
really wanted to have a store that would be something people would say you always see stores like that in other big cities or something
Right.
like that. And we were really deep into the music scene, so of course we wanted to carry some local music also,
Mhm.
and then just, you know, cool clothing and just something with a little more pop culture, something really interesting. And as we evolved and got to meet more and more local businesses and stuff too, we found out there's a lot of items that we could carry that are locally made in our store.
Mm-hmm.
So to kind of go along with our clothing, gifts, and records, we also had a lot of local things, so we could highlight a couple of those right now. Of course, we're a record store, so people who are really into music, even if they're not into records, could appreciate these really cool record clocks.
Oh, yeah.
We've got the Illinois one. These are made by a local sign company, made in Rockford, and they're cut out of real records. And even for Christmas now, they're doing some little Christmas trees made out of records.
Oh, nice.
And Christmas ornaments made out of records. So many things, though. We carry dog treats made in Rockford, candles made in
I
Rockford.
like the WROK.
Oh yeah, the vintage one.
The old
That's
school
actually
album.
a Metal Master one, so we couldn't cut that into a clock, but it still made a really cool clock. I have to listen to it. But some of the items we carry are a lot of housewares. You know, like you saw the salt lamps we were looking at.
Right.
We carry a lot of cool coffee mugs, a lot of pop culture, Star Wars, Clockwork Orange.
People love coffee mugs.
But at Christmas time, especially, people
Yeah.
love coffee mugs. If we want to
Right.
give them something local to go with it, we carry locally roasted Java Mania coffee.
Okay.
We even have our own Culture Shock blend in whole bean and ground. This is making me crazy. But that's a really great pairing for gifts, you know, any time of the year, especially at Christmas.
Right.
Some of the other local items we carry, let's pop down here. Candles I was talking about. Here's the Rockford candle. You ever smelled this?
No.
Made by Candle Crest. They're
Wow,
so good. These
that
are all
smells
natural
really
soy.
good, yeah.
And they do give back. Like half of their profits off of this go to a different local charity every quarter. So there's a lot of the Rockford mugs like I was talking about. We go around our little corner of housewares too. Here's the treats. A lot of dog lovers. Of course, we got our little dog here. But here's the Shortbread Treats. These are made by Canine Crunchery right here in Rockford. All natural dog treats. Rockford Shirts, tons of Rockford Shirts. We've got the 815 shirts, Classic Jerry's Hamburgers, Rockford Peaches, Cheap Trick shirts, of course, too. So things like that.
What's your favorite Rockford shirt? Because I know you carry quite a few.
I kind of like the one that's the classic I Heart Rockford with New York crossed out. It's like, I've been to New York, and New York was cool and stuff, but we were happy to come back to Rockford. And so
Right.
it's like, hey, that's cool. We've got so much going on here. It's like, even though we're one little pocket compared to New York, it's so
Right.
much easier to get around and do things and to meet people and go out for music and dinner and things
Right.
like that.
Talk about that, because you hear a lot of negative things about Rockford, and people are like, oh, it's Rockford.
Sure.
You really care about Rockford, and you have positive things to say. Where does that come from?
You know, me and Lauren, actually, we complain a lot in a joking way. We'll be like,
Right.
what are we going to do tonight? We are double booked. There's like 2 things going on or 3 things going on.
Right.
So we actually find the problem that there's so many things going on, how to connect all the dots and to make it to all the charity events, the music
Right.
shows, whatever. You know, there was like a guitar show last weekend. There was Stroll on State. There was just like so many things. I think if you keep in the positive and if you are, you know, getting out and checking things out, you'll find out how much is really going on.
Right.
The first thing that hits up on the news or whatever might be about crime or other things, but there's always some really cool artistic things going on,
Right.
or stores that are doing fun events.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm doing this to learn more about Rockford, and I mean I've been here for almost 25 years, but there's still things you can find out and things to do that you never knew about.
Definitely, it's the same thing happens at the store. Like I said, we've been open 11 years. There's people who you would think would know about the store, even people who live by us every day. Not a single day goes by where we don't get somebody brand new into the store. It's like, wow, I had no idea we had a place like this in Rockford.
Right.
Or people for the first time who are just going to Anderson Gardens or Sinisippi Park or Coronado. It's like people who've been here their whole lives haven't even experienced that yet.
Right.
There's a lot of untapped out there.
And it's funny because you get, and we'll walk around a little bit more, but you get people that think, oh, you're just a record store. But boy, there's so much more here, and everyone kind of has their favorite thing that they come here shopping for. Maybe it's coffee mugs. Maybe it's the crazy socks.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something.
Socks are a big one too for us.
Something local. It's a really cool mix of different things.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's true. And that's the other thing about this store is it is so visual and just so many levels of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You can't know what it is until you just get here and look around.
Right.
Because our record store, that's a whole record store in itself, with all sorts of genres that are kind of more what we have, picked for the store, more premium selection. Same thing here. We've tried to get more premium gifts and more American-made and locally made items, but still at a very, affordable price point, and with something really interesting. A lot of the companies we carry actually, give back to. You were talking about socks. We can talk about Blue Q socks. They have all these really funny ones. I don't know if we can show all of them on there, but let's just say this one is a good coworker gift if we can sneak in around here.
Right.
It says this meeting is BS or whatever. We'll cover it up if we have to. Or if you need to get someone socks, get them the worst gift ever.
Right.
Pair of socks.
And that's the other thing too, because you have so many people in your life that they're not immediate family, but you still want to get them something nice and something fun, and there's so many different choices here.
Yeah, and we do, and we handpick every little tiny item we get. I was going to mention they give at least 1% of all of their sales to Doctors Without Borders.
Okay.
Doctors who are helping people all over the world in need, where they may not have the opportunity to help with disease or outbreak and other things. So, and their bags do the same thing too. They were made out of recycled materials. They use they use different plastics and recycled plastics and rice bags, and they make all these cool little bags and things. Or if you need just a little thing to put gift cards in,
Right.
Someone little weed money bag, or the financial disaster bag, to keep all your remaining change in there.
Right.
But yeah, those
And I remember
companies-
my grandma had one of these when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, they're very nostalgic, But a lot of things end up being really good for coworkers and things like that too, People like things with owls on it, or art supplies. See, this is really cool for someone who's really into art or going to art school, something to keep their art supplies in. Or even a makeup bag and keep, let people know you're really into art. But everything we do, hand order and make sure it's from a real ethical company or American-made company whenever we can.
All right, can we go over and look at the music?
Sure.
Yeah. So this is what the part that I was very excited about, because if I wasn't in radio, I think the next job I would want is to work at a record store.
Yeah.
That's since I was
And
a
I
kid.
learned something new every day, though, too. It's it's not just about what I was into when I started having a record store. My mind just literally expands every day.
Right.
I mean, we could talk about prog rock bands or punk bands or garage rock from the 60s. What's really cool is some people don't even realize they are still pressing vinyl. All the new releases, and they're reissuing classic stuff, too. You can get brand new sealed copies of that.
Which it's pretty amazing that they're doing that. What is the era where there's very little vinyl for?
My era, my high school era, 90s, 90s and 2000s.
Okay.
So all the grunge rock and things like that. We're very limited on vinyl. They did press some usually, but that's when CDs and cassettes were the main thing.
Bands like Pink Floyd that recently released everything.
Yeah, they just took them all from the original masters, and you've got Dark Side of the Wall, and then some of their really early stuff too. With Syd Barrett's still in the band. So that's really cool that you don't have to go hunt forever to find that's their first album.
Right.
Originals of that are also quite rare, but luckily they have
And to be able to
reissued them
and to be able to find a good copy of it, an album that's old,
$70 or $100 probably for their first album.
Right.
But now for $25-$30 you can buy their albums.
Let's talk about the stereo equipment, because that's another thing that's really hot right now, and it's really come back, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and especially the more vintage stuff. Like, that stuff was just built so well and built to last. We do refurbish all that and sell that, and we have stuff, a little more modern too. But even if you don't want to get, a big killer system with big speakers, you just want to get a real basic system, we do have some of the more little compact units.
Right.
So you can always get a starter set, or if you want to build the Big Daddy set, we can put together a huge amp with huge speakers or bookshelf speakers. But the sound of vinyl, even if you don't have a good system, just the act, I think, of playing your records, dropping the needle, being in tune with the music, being your own DJ. It's like a fun thing to do and a way to really experience your music.
And the speakers. I mean, you didn't have these little tiny speakers. You have these. I mean, these are good sized speakers.
Yeah.
It's pretty darn cool that those things are coming back. You know? And it's not just listening to a little speaker on a computer.
I know. That was another thing. For so many years now, the digital thing took over, and people grew up in a home without a stereo system.
Right.
Like they had an iPhone or an iPad or whatever. And that's no way to hear your music. Obviously in your car usually it would sound okay, but I think you really need a home stereo to appreciate music.
Where are cassettes now? I've heard things that cassettes are kind of coming back, and kind of, people are collecting them again.
A little bit. They are collecting them. And we even have some new ones from some newer bands and local bands. I think what's mostly convenient about it is smaller bands can press just a small amount of copies. When you press vinyl, you have to do a large batch.
Right.
That's pretty pricey unless you're on a label that'll do that for you. And then there's a lot of, teens and 20s who are getting older cars that still have cassette players in it.
Right.
So it's kind of cool to have a cassette and listen to a cassette in their car. Or make a mixtape even, if you got your own records and you just want to cut down. We actually sell blank tapes even, so. That's a pretty small market though, but it's still cool to have that. It's the analog sound of the original recording. Of course, we carry tons of classic rock and used rock, but we've really expanded. When we first started vinyl in our store, we were mostly doing punk and metal, and more stuff I was really into at the time.
Right.
Lauren was into, and we expanded into indie rock. Now we have jazz, soul, soundtracks, just more.
Because people are looking for everything.
Yeah, exactly. You want to build your collection. You get a little older, you get a little more of a mature taste, and you're like, I want some Otis Redding, or I want some, you pick it, Miles Davis.
I find when you start digging, you get in that wormhole, and you find more, and then you find more, and you find more, and the next thing you know, you have this nice collection of a good mix of things.
Well, it comes back to, some people want to go back to the music that their parents were listening to, which might be all the way back to Benny Goodman, or might be back to the Doors, or whatever.
Right.
But those bands all had an influence, and all the new bands have an influence. A lot of them still cite bands like, Cheap Trick or Fleetwood Mac as their influence. So
right.
Those bands will always be, necessary.
Let's talk about Cheap Trick a little bit.
Sure.
What's your feel? And you got the kind of the Rockford version of it.
Cheap Trick shirt here.
I'm sure a lot of people are out looking for Cheap Trick stuff.
Oh yeah, a lot. It was crazy whenever Rick's Picks was set up here. I'm sure you guys went to that probably.
Oh, a few times, yeah.
We had people who were here from other countries. We had people from Asia and Sweden, and people from Ohio, California, Canada, and they would come to find our store after they went to Rick's Picks. They're like, I want to find a Cheap Trick album in Rockford.
Oh, see, that's awesome.
Instead of buying it online or finding somewhere else. So, but we still have a lot of local people who all have their own stories about how they went to school with those guys, or saw them at a high school gym, or wherever in there.
Mine's I saw Rick Nielsen buying deli meat at Highlander.
I get a lot of those, And you know what? He loves our socks. He's been in and got socks here, of all things, and we've seen him at grocery store and stuff. So everyone's got a story about someone in the band.
Doesn't he come get merch from you too?
Oh, he has. We had a couple of the Cheap Trick shirts that weren't available to Cheap Tricks and onesies. Well, he just recently had, more grandkids.
Yeah.
So he was in, and I think got some for Dax's kid and stuff like that. So that was funny. It was very awkward. I was like, oh, I feel so weird selling Cheap Trick stuff to Mr. Cheap Trick, But that whole family, they're great. And Miles, of course, too. We carry a lot of local music, including Miles Nielsen, the Rusted Hearts. A lot of other local bands have been putting out music, too.
And you have bands that play here sometimes, you do some DJs, too.
Yeah, we've had, during, Record Store Day, our anniversary party, we'll have local DJs come and spin vinyl. or a local band or touring band even do like a little acoustic set or a meet and greet.
Right.
That's just a fun kind of thing we'd like to have more of happening and see other places do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd like to go meet a band and see a little acoustic set. You know, bring the kids out too. It's like
Right.
all ages friendly. You know, so people with kids can show up and enjoy that being in a record store. You know, seeing some music.
So if you were gonna build a stereo for me right now,
Oh yeah.
put it together. What
Oh, yeah.
would we get? Where do we
Well,
start? Obviously with the receiver,
I know you've
right?
been in for metallic and stuff, so you
Yeah.
want to have something with a little power because I know you want it loud.
Right.
So I would go with like classic pie. This set right here would be cool. It's a little stacked up right now.
Okay.
But I'd say either one of these receivers would be good. It's all refurbished.
Uh-huh.
You got a record player. You should feel how heavy that is.
Oh yeah.
That's a pretty heavy record player.
Mm-hmm.
So you wouldn't have any vibrations, you know, coming through because if you turn it up loud or whatever.
Right.
And then these are called the Pioneer HPM 100s. And they're a real wood cabinet with a mid-range tweeter and a little ribbon tweeter, so your high frequencies will be like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
No distortion, and then a really nice heavy woofer with a big magnet. Good speakers like this even have a crossover built in. It's kind of like an EQ just for your speakers.
Okay.
So you get it to the sound like if you have a lot of carpet or a lot of hardwood, you can adjust it to make sure it sounds perfect in your home. That's just kind of the high quality stuff that you could turn the volume up and not worry about it getting distorted sounding.
Right.
But Pioneer and Marantz would be another brand that we really like a lot.
I really like the fact that you can just get a couple of big Pioneer speakers or you know, like them, and that's all you need. You don't need the surround, the center, the woofer. Everything's right here.
That was kind of, I feel like, a technology, you know, boom where people were like being convinced they had to throw out their stereo systems to buy surround sound. But surround sound's cool for surround sound movies, TV, things like that.
Right.
For music, it's all recorded in stereo, so you want stereo speakers.
Right.
2 nice big stereo speakers. So that's the sound you'd want for music. Just keep your surround sound for your, you know, Marvel Comics movies or something like that. Not for music. So.
All right, I need a job here.
Well, we do need a lot of help. We're getting the store ready for Christmas, so maybe maybe we can borrow you from the radio station.
Is there anything else that we should know about Culture Shock that you want to talk about?
Well, I guess I could just say that, you know, we're super focused on us and our staff just being really friendly with customer service and getting to the bottom of helping people find something interesting. And we're open 7 days a week. We want it to be as convenient as possible. So we are open every day. We're doing complimentary gift bagging even for people out Christmas shopping. Gift cards are always a good way to go if you're not sure what to get, especially if you're trying to buy records for people. You could try, but some people are, you know, I understand, you know, picky about things. So you could always find a nice little novelty or thing to add to the gift card. But yeah, otherwise just come in and hang out. We're very open to letting you check the store out or letting you listen to records even if you want to find out something new. Things do change every week though. We like to we don't want to be the same old.
Right.
So we do keep it changing a lot. So
if you see something you want, get it. You never know.
It's kind of like that, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And who's this little
This
guy?
is Bean. Bean. That's the little Culture Shock mascot. She's wearing her ugly Christmas sweater today.
Just for the video.
Yeah, sure.
Bring somebody, tell somebody about the place because if they've never been here, they'll love it. I know my father-in-law comes down here quite a bit.
We see him a lot. And it's cool. It really is that kind of store where it's really casual fun. People who have friends visiting or people who used to live in Rockford to come back, they always come in to check out the store or pick up a locally made item or something from Rockford. But yeah, it's a fun whole experience.
Especially for Christmas gift giving season. Secret Santa.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Our
White
office
elephant.
loves to come in here and just get those really fun gifts that you're just not going to find anywhere else.
Right.
That's what's super fun about the other side of the store too.
Yes.
Well,
There you
awesome.
go.
Well, thank you for bringing me down to Culture Shock, and
Definitely.
now I'm going to be working here part time.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got to work towards the stereo.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I'm doing it for the discount.
Yeah.
There's
There
an
you
employee
go.
discount, right?
Oh yeah.
But ever since, you know, like Empire Records and then the John Cusack movie and stuff, you know, I'm just like, it would be the, you know, it would be the ultimate job. So.
Yeah. It's funny.
You're
It's
very
funny
lucky.
to see how the movies depict what it's like, but that's okay. It is a lot of fun. And the customers that come in It's true. We have those customers where they're like so into certain artists, or they're
Right.
like,
Yeah.
can you hold all of these records for like 5 days? I have to go home and check and see if I have them all. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll try. But there's always those fun ones, and the ones who really turn you on to bands you've never. They're like, have you heard of this band? You should check them out. You know, and half the time they're right. It's a band that you would like or should check out.
Right.
So we learn a lot from our customers.
Nice.
That's very, very cool. Well, thank you so much for
Hey,
having us
thanks
down.
so much for doing this. This is a
Appreciate
lot of
it.
fun.
Thank you so much.
Come on down to Culture Shock and check it out. And it's things Double T has never done before.